Good morning. So, you're having a conversation with somebody and you really want them to understand what the hell they're saying, but somehow they just don't get the point and they're arguing with you and downright getting angry with you. How do you get somebody to actually understand what it is that you're talking about? Okay, let's get into some tools. So, first of all, this is kind of counterintuitive, but you first need to get them on board by understanding where they're coming from. So, the best way to get somebody to understand what you're saying is to make them feel heard. Make them feel like you understand what they're saying. So when you start to actually engage with them and ask them questions about where they're coming from, then they're going to be more open to understanding where you're coming from. And if you can phrase things in ways that allow you to communicate through to different learning styles, those are going to be your two big takeaways today. So one is engaging with them first on asking questions. So let's say you're having an argument with your spouse, you're talking about when the kids need to be picked up, and your spouse seems to think that you should be the one to pick them up. And you are internalizing that as, well, he must think that he or she must think that I have so much time, and that's why they think that I should be picking up the kids. So what you want to do, instead of assuming that where they're coming from, if you really want them to hear that you need them to pick them up, is that you first need to say to them, oh, okay, so help me understand why it is that you think that I'm better for this job. Why is that going to work better for the kids? And phrasing it that way, right? Phrasing it as that external. Why is it? It's like not what is it better for you, but why is it better for this other thing? Why is it better for the customer if we're talking about business? And in that, then you can listen to what is really going on. And it may surprise you. It may surprise you what they actually tell you is the reason that they want you to pick up the kids. Maybe it's just that they find that the kids are always arguing with them when they pick them up, and they think that it's going to be better because you have a better connection, or I don't know. I don't know what it is. But the moment that you turn it around, you say to them, why do you feel that way? Then they feel heard. And then it's possible to say, okay, can I tell you why I want you to do this? And you're going to want to go a little bit deeper than what you first said and say, this is what I need. I need you to pick them up because, and XYZ, right? Let them know some specifics. I'm feeling really crunched for time, and I feel like I'm going to be yelling at the kids if I pick them up. Give them a deeper explanation, but they will only hear it when they feel heard. And this is a crazy thing about communication, is that we're so busy trying to get our point across that we forget that we need to have the other person be heard first. Now, that's really easy to say, right? That's really easy to say. And like all the books on communication, resolving conflict, dealing with difficult conversations, they will all have this kind of general theme. And the reality is that unless we are coming from a place where we're willing to put our stuff on hold so that we can have the outcome, unless we're willing to do that, then it's not going to actually happen. And that's where it comes to doing the deeper work so that you can show up in this way. You can actually put your stuff on hold because you're not also being, dealing with all of this rise of emotion of I'm never heard, I've never been heard. When we actually move all of that kind of things out, we move those programs and imprints out of the system, it's a lot easier to put these kinds of tools into place. So have a think about how you want to handle your conversations. Start with conversations that don't have a lot of emotional charge. Try out the tools, switch it around. Instead of trying to be heard, understand the other person with some questions. Ask them some deeper probing questions about why do they want it that way? Why do they see the world that way? What makes it that way? And this is also about the deeper clearing, which is what I'm a really big proponent of, is that when we have cleared our crap, when we really do the deep inner work, then when we ask that question of like, why do you see it that way? It's a gentle, open question as opposed to, well, why do you see it that way? Right? So we have these ranges that when we have lots of space around it, when we have the ability to put our emotions on the shelf and get really curious about the other person, ask those questions, we can ask it in a way that actually facilitates the conversation instead of them picking up on our tone that we're often told about. And it opens the door for deeper understanding. It opens the door for you to understand them, and that opens the door for them to understand you. So, the first step for me is all about getting into your inner dominatrix energy, which is about clearing the crap, clearing the core pieces that get in the way of you showing up authentically, empowered, and being able to listen and support the other person. Then you can easily put these tools into place, and you'll put them into place in a way that doesn't invoke the I don't like your tone kind of thing. So try that out. Let me know how that goes. If you have any questions, concerns, you want to go deeper, feel free to head over to bookdana.in and we can talk about what it's going to take to get you really into this energy and owning your conversations, whether they are at work or at home. It's time for you to own your inner dominatrix. Have fun.